Hello, Earle Pughe here. Today I'm looking at the chords to Blues in C under the Joe Pass solo. So there are 3 previous videos on this song, so please check that out, and also please check out the original recording by Count Basie. We're going to have quite a few chords, but only 3 shapes. So the first shape starts off life as an E. If we lift off the 3rd finger, we can turn into an E7. If we play that with fingers 2 and 3, we've got the 1st finger loose for a bar. We could move it to fret 3 and we would have a G7. Out of that chord, we're going to take the notes on strings 6, 4, and 3. So we've got a G, an F, and a B. That would be the root G, the flat 7, F, and the B. That would be the 3. Now we're going to finger those with fingers 2, 3, 4. So we got G, F, B. So the root is on string 6. So whatever note is on string 6 in this shape will be the name of the chord. So the name of the letter name of the chord is determined by the note on string 6, and then the character of the chord, whether it's a 7 or a minor 7 or whatever, is going to be determined by the notes on strings 4 and 3. Now, if we were to go back to that E chord, if we want to make it an E minor, we could lift the 1st finger. If we wanted to make it an E minor 7, we could lift the 3rd finger. So now we would have E, B, D, G. We're going to play that B note with finger 3. That leaves the 1st finger free for a bar. Let's move it up to fret 3 just so we can finger it easier. And we've got a G, a D, an F, and a B flat. So we're going to take just the notes on strings 6, 4, 3. So we've still got a G on string 6, an F natural, that's the flat 7 on string 4, and a B flat, that's the flat 3 on string 3. So no matter where we put this shape, it will be a minor 7 chord. So in this song, we are going to use it as a D minor 7. So we'll be up at fret 10. We'll have a D, a C, and an F natural. So that's the 1, the flat 7, and the flat 3. And we have an E minor 7 flat 5. Now there's kind of a cool trick here. And that is if we move it up 2 frets, we've got an E, a D, and a G natural. We have no 5. We have 1, flat 7, flat 3. So this one shape we're going to use for 2 different chords. We're going to use it for a minor 7 and also a minor 7 flat 5. The reason we can do that is there is no 5, so we can let someone else determine the 5. So there's 2 shapes, both based on root 6. I did them down here as a G7 and a G minor 7, and notice that the root is on root 6, so we got a C7, a D minor 7, and an E minor 7 flat 5. Now, also down low on the guitar, we could have a C7. If we put the, notice that the root is on string 5. If we put the 3rd finger on string 6, we get a G. So now we've got a G on the bottom, that's the 5. We've got an E on string 4, that's the 3. We've got a B flat on string 3, that's the flat 7. And we've got a C on string 2, that's the root. Well, we're not going to play the root. So this is a so-called rootless voicing. So we're going to play that chord, only take the notes from 6, 4, 3, G, that's the 5, E, that's the 3, B flat, that's the flat 7. So if we want to figure out what the letter name of the chord is, we could move our we could move our second finger over to string 5 and it will be on the root. But we aren't going to play it. Now, this lets us do kind of a cool trick here. So we're going to use this for the F7, the G7, and the A7. However, we are also going to use this for an F sharp diminished 7, this same shape, and we're going to use it on the same notes that we played the F7. So what's going to happen is if we were playing an F7, we could have that F note on string 2. If we were playing an F sharp diminished 7, we could put the F sharp on string 2. Don't go too low with this voicing, but it works great up higher. But we're not going to use that note. We're going to leave out string 2. So for an F sharp diminished 7, if we only play strings 6, 4, 3, if we only play the flat 5, the double flat 7, and the flat 3, the flat 5 on an F sharp diminished 7 would be a C. The double flat 7 would be an E flat, and the flat 3 would be the A. So we have C, A, E flat, flat 5, flat 3, double flat 7, and if we play an F7, we'll have the same letters, C, A, E flat. However, we have a different imaginary root. So because we are only playing 3 out of the 4 notes, these shapes have more than one name. So please notice that all of these chords have the second finger on string 6. So we have a dominant 7th chord, C7, root string 6. We have a dominant 7 chord, F7, root is string 5, but we're not playing 5. We're going to use the 5th on the bottom. We also have an F sharp diminished, and we're going to use the flat 5 on the bottom. So don't go too low with this voicing, but it will work great if you're a ways up the neck. And the bass player gets to determine what the root is. You're playing the upper structure. We will have an E minor 7 flat 5, which will have the root on string 6. We're going to play it up at fret 12. Only 2 fingers, 2 and 3, strings 6, 4, 3. Then when we go to an A7, we will have once again, it's imaginary root chord. The root, the A is on string 5. We're not going to play it. We've got the 5, the 3, and the flat 7. Then we're going to go to a D minor 7. It's string 6 is the D, so we've got a root position chord, and then we'll go to a G7. And once again, it's an imaginary root chord. So there will be no G in the G7. We'll have a D, a B, and an F. And then we'll be back to C7, A7, D7, E7 for the turnaround. So even though we have 8 chords, we have only 3 shapes. A note on the pick hand. I recommend that you go up on 1, down on 2, which is what your foot should do. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. F7, F sharp diminished 7 back to C7. F7, F sharp diminished 7, C7. E minor 7 flat 5, A7, D minor 7, G7, C7, A7, D7, G7, and it all starts again. So even though we had a lot of chords, there was not a lot of motion with the fretting hand. So all of the chords were accessible and sort of led to each other in a manner that was logical for your hands. I hope you've enjoyed this video on blues in C. These are the more advanced jazz chords under the Joe Pass guitar solo. And I hope to see you next week with another video. Till then, have a great week. Thank you.